Well, during the pandemic, more and more of our life has moved online. We talked to a cybersecurity expert and we'll be sharing his tips today and tomorrow. Many of you are working remotely, even if it's just a couple of days a week. CEO of Infinity Inc., that's Chuck Brown, says there are many ways you can put yourself and your personal information at risk by doing this. He shared some concerns and what he says your employer can do to help.
Probably the single biggest concern that we have as an IT company is the use of personal equipment at home. So, when you're in the office, you're using office equipment that has office rules and office compliance and all that. When you go back home, a user may or may not be doing Windows updates and may not have any virus on there. There's a lot of what ifs. Even down to the machine's probably not locked down so they can go where they want to. So there's a lot of exposure when you're on a personal machine that's just not managed the way a professional machine is. You can make sure they have good antivirus, and maybe you give it to them, maybe you don't. You can make sure that they have Windows updates on there. You can at least educate them on some of the dangers and the problems.
Well, after making your dining table work as an office for an extended period of time, you may be tempted to head to a coffee shop or somewhere else with public Wi-Fi where you can get some work done. Brown says ultimately this will put your information and your technology at a greater risk, but there are a few easy steps you can take to minimize it.
And even this isn't 100% safe, but it's much safer. Ask them what their Wi-Fi is. Don't just hop on and assume that you know what the Wi-Fi is, especially if you see if you go to Starbucks and you see Starbucks 1, 2, and 3, don't just assume that any one of those is fine. Starbucks may have provided Starbucks 1 and somebody else set up 2 and 3. Ask. So you should do that. Keep your computer up to date. Keep Windows updates on there. Keep antivirus on there. I would not ever advocate doing financial transactions where you're typing in passwords and going to bank accounts and things like that. I have known people who even went so far as to keep their home and travel computers completely separate. Their travel computer had nothing personal on it. They used it for browsing the internet. So if it did get infected, nothing bad was really going to happen.
Another risk while working remotely, Zoom bombing. Zoom has some tips on how to make your video calls safer on their website. Infinity also posts regular additional cybersecurity tips. We'll share links to both of those resources on our website. Just look for this story.